What if I told you Atlantis never truly sank? What if its priests, its secrets, and its power simply vanished beneath a deeper ocean? The human mind? Tonight, we follow the money, decode the symbols, and open vaults they've hidden for centuries. A secret society walks among us, invisible yet everywhere, shaping presidents, culture, and your thoughts. They call themselves the Trident Order. This is their story. And if you watch until the very end, it may become yours too. Atlantis. A name that has drifted through millennia like a whisper on the wind, carrying secrets, legends, and theories that only a few dare to investigate deeply. Since Plato, philosophers, explorers, and occultists have searched for the submerged ruins that would guard traces of an advanced society, destroyed in a single day and night of fury. But, what if I told you that Atlantis is not just the past? What if I revealed that today, right this moment, a secret society preserves its legacy? Take a deep breath. This video will challenge everything you think you know. In closed circles of secret society scholars, Atlantis is more than a sunken myth. It's a symbol of power, forbidden knowledge, and spiritual engineering. From time to time, ancient documents resurface, indicating that certain groups guard fragments of Atlantean wisdom. Alchemical manuals, transmutation rituals, maps pointing to energy nodes aligned with extinct stars. Sounds like fiction? Brace yourself, because evidence lies closer than you might think. In the veiled archives of Hermetic orders like the Rosicrucians and high-degree Masonic societies, the myth of Atlantis appears as a key to initiation rituals. For some researchers, these rites are attempts to restore what they call the Atlantean consciousness. It would be a way to recover lost human abilities, telepathic communication, telekinesis, astral travel. Fantasy? Or part of a plan carefully buried under layers of symbols and metaphors? Contemporary sources claim that during World War II, top Nazi ranks obsessively sought relics and documents linking Atlantis to the Aryan race. Researchers like Heinrich Himmler sponsored expeditions to Tibet and the Andes, trying to find traces of this civilization. What many ignore is that even after the fall of the Third Reich, these archives didn't vanish. They were absorbed, re-edited, and fed new societies that grew silently, scattered throughout the West. One such faction, according to documents leaked in the 1970s, calls itself the Order of the Trident. Its members claim to preserve fragments of technology and star maps inherited from the Atlanteans. They believe the island's destruction wasn't a divine punishment but a transition, a strategic exile so that knowledge could survive encoded, camouflaged in myths, esoteric symbols, and regional legends. Whoever controls these codes, they say, controls energy portals still active on Earth. To grasp this web, you must look beyond official stories. Apocryphal books, torn scrolls, and files censored by the Vatican compose a mosaic pointing to the existence of active cells of this secret society. Surprisingly, some famous names in science, politics, and even entertainment were suspected of belonging to the Order of the Trident. Some claim that renowned artists embed clues in movies, music, and album covers, creating a cat-and-mouse game with the public eye. In this first chapter, we crack open a door. In the next parts, we'll unravel who these influential figures are, how they conduct their meetings, which symbols identify their members, and, above all, what silent agenda they weave for the 21st century. Stay with me until the end, because some revelations may sound absurd, but I promise, every detail is grounded in testimonies, documents, and clues you can investigate for yourself. Little is truly known about the faces behind the Trident Order. Their names rarely appear in public lists or social media feeds. They are magnates of vast corporations, philanthropists with pristine images, and scholars who drift between elite universities, cultural foundations, and discreet annual meetings in European castles. Among themselves, they exchange coded messages, preserving a tradition of communication said to trace back to Atlantean scrolls, written in symbols defying modern linguistics. Documents unearthed by independent researchers reveal that inside the order, power is layered into inner circles. In the first circle, initiates study sacred geometries, protective sigils, and energy harmonization rituals. In the second, more advanced practices emerge, manipulating sound frequencies, crystal technologies, and the study of ley lines, invisible pathways believed to connect Earth's power points, a direct inheritance of Atlantean engineering. Only a handful ever reach the third circle. It's estimated there are no more than 100 worldwide. For them, Atlantis is literal, a real place, submerged yet alive in another vibrational layer. The Trident Order claims that on specific dates, natural portals open, granting access to fragments of this realm. Accounts speak of ritual gatherings in quartz caves under precise constellations, where participants share collective visions of the ancient Atlantean capital. Evidence? Some testimonies leaked to the press in the 90s, quickly mocked as conspiracy fantasies. One former member, identified only as Lazarus, described a secret gathering in Iceland, deep inside a volcanic chamber. According to him, the group entered a collective trance, guided by chants in a lost tongue. Hours later, they emerged convinced they had conversed with Atlantean watchers, guardians of the original knowledge of the drowned island. For the Order, the ultimate goal isn't merely mystical visions. They aim to recreate what they call Atlantean Era 2.0, a human society reborn upon clean technology, collective telepathy, and harmony with Earth's magnetic grids. But for this, they claim humanity must be purified of its modern vices, greed, environmental destruction, spiritual ignorance. Many experts warn, beneath this utopian rhetoric hides a blueprint for total global control. Insiders say the Trident Order has infiltrated cutting-edge research centers in AI, biotech, and neuroscience. They quietly invest in startups developing brain-machine interfaces, behavior prediction algorithms, and mass brainwave mapping. Coincidence? For them, these technologies are stepping stones to resurrect the lost capacities of the Atlanteans: telepathy, clairvoyance, conscious energy manipulation. Next, we'll dissect how the secret society infiltrates governments, intelligence agencies, and megacorporations. You'll see why discreet meetings, billion-dollar contracts, and shady think tanks are all connected by a single vision: resurrecting Atlantis, not as an island, but as an invisible power structure. Stay tuned, each detail fits like a puzzle piece few dare to assemble. While many dismiss the Trident Order as pure legend, confidential reports suggest it places trusted representatives in key power seats. Anonymous sources claim energy ministers, space agency directors, and even national security advisors secretly align with the Atlantean agenda. They don't act like a single cabal but as scattered pieces on a chessboard, connected through symbols, secret rites, and a shared goal, paving the way for Atlantis' return. These infiltrators rarely pass sweeping decrees alone. They subtly greenlight budgets for geological research in uninteresting zones or draft environmental laws that, on the surface, protect forests but secretly shield hidden passageways, quartz caves, or undiscovered ruins beneath. Some hydroelectric dams are rumored to sit atop ancient portals to keep them sealed under modern infrastructure. Interestingly, massive excavation projects often get shut down by unexpected court orders or last-minute funding cuts. But trace the decision trail, and you'll always find an intermediary tied to neutral-sounding foundations no one would suspect of harboring a secret society. These foundations sponsor academic conferences, donate to museums, and edit textbooks that correct inconvenient parts of prehistory. One of the most notorious cases involves a 2001 sonar discovery off Cuba's coast, images of pyramid-like structures arranged geometrically at depths over 600 meters. Within months, the dive team's funding dried up, local authorities banned further expeditions, and the media buried the headline. Conspiracy believers say the Trident Order intervened to keep direct proof of Atlantis off-limits to the public. Parallel to this, rogue hacker collectives calling themselves the Abyss Awakened have tried to leak member lists from within the Order. Some documents did surface briefly on dark forums, exposing names of politicians, tech CEOs, and even high-ranking clergy. These files vanished fast under copyright claims or accusations of misinformation, but those who saved copies swear they were genuine. Behind this veil, a silent struggle unfolds. On one side, the Trident Order works tirelessly to keep the Atlantean legacy confined to the initiated. On the other, defectors, whistleblowers, and rogue researchers fight to push fragments of this truth into public view. Some have published books, given clandestine lectures, and even embedded revelations in fiction films loaded with subliminal clues, coordinates, and ritual blueprints. Next, we'll delve even deeper: who bankrolls this society? Which banks, mega foundations, and family dynasties guard the vaults fueling this global conspiracy? Brace yourself, the money trail is darker than you can imagine, and every transaction hides an excavation, a portal, or a piece of forbidden technology poised to reshape reality. Money. In any real conspiracy, the financial trail is the safest map to decode who's pulling the strings. In the Trident Order's case, quiet investigations reveal they don't rely on petty donations or charity galas. Instead, they feed off a tangled web of trusts, offshore holdings, and tax havens laundering astronomical sums. These figures appear in mining reports, oceanographic research budgets, and even in clean energy startup capital. Whistleblowers claim a huge portion of these funds flows through private European banks, mainly in Switzerland, Luxembourg, and the Channel Islands. These institutions have a history of sheltering anonymous accounts for oligarchs, religious sects, and, yes, secret societies. When a major excavation or covert tech project needs instant cash, a consultative committee gives discreet approval within hours. The only rule: everything must look legal, green, and above suspicion. Where does this money go? Part pays for undisclosed digs. Another chunk covers payroll for divers, scientists, and archaeologists who sign lifetime NDAs. An even larger share flows into quantum physics labs and AI think tanks under the guise of humanitarian innovation. Dig into the paperwork and the same shell corporations and ghost signatories pop up again and again, then vanish once a project hits 80% completion. Some suspicious transactions link global mining conglomerates to remote sites in Antarctica, the deep South Atlantic, and Central Asian deserts. Satellite shots reveal heavy machinery and dome structures, but official reports explain none of it. To conspiracy trackers, these sites are attempts to reach crystal libraries, alleged quantum storage chambers preserving Atlantean memory across geological ages. Ancient bloodlines also appear as silent backers. Aristocratic families with crests dating back to medieval Europe, rumored to have ties to Knights Templar or other guardians of forbidden wisdom. Publicly, they pose as art patrons, opera donors, or castle restorers. In reality, they legitimize these hush-hush investments and host yearly gatherings on private estates, safely out of prying eyes. Journalists who follow this money trail face sudden dead ends. Publishers pull investigative features overnight. Sponsors vanish. In extreme cases, quiet threats arrive by untraceable calls. It's not rare for reporters to abandon entire documentaries, switch beats entirely, or vanish from public life citing health reasons or burnout. Next, we peel back an even more disturbing layer: how the Trident Order manipulates public perception through blockbuster movies, hit series, best-selling novels, and even video games. This arsenal of entertainment makes the masses see it all as fiction, while reality, hidden behind layers of fantasy, screams for those brave enough to decode the clues. While billions watch movies, shows, and games featuring Atlantis as mere myth, few realize how calculated this cultural flooding truly is. Many researchers believe the Trident Order learned early on a powerful truth: the best place to hide an uncomfortable fact is right in plain sight, packaged as a joke, a fantasy, or a Hollywood plot twist. Generations grow up laughing at anyone asking, "But what if it's real?" Big studios, celebrity screenwriters, and even award-winning directors are recruited, knowingly or not, to recycle the Atlantis tale into glamorous adventures. Epic films show underwater kingdoms, heroes ruling oceans, or ancient tech awakening from the deep, all wrapped in dazzling CGI and soaring soundtracks. Insiders swear some scripts sneak in real symbols, disguised coordinates, and coded messages for those wise enough to pause and dissect each frame. Video games do the same. Billion-dollar franchises send players on quests through submerged ruins, oceanic pyramids, and temples humming with anachronistic tech. Pure entertainment? Maybe, but hackers and conspiracy circles have uncovered hidden data in game files, weird code strings, ley line maps, and Latin messages that, when translated, point to real restricted sites. Too many coincidences for professional truth hunters to ignore. Best-selling novels are another weapon. Authors branding themselves as fearless fictioneers churn out Atlantis thrillers packed with fringe theories, yet never admit most plotlines come from anonymous packages, handwritten manuscripts, ancient diagrams, cryptic runes. Years later, if cornered, they dismiss it all as marketing buzz. The loop of disbelief feeds itself perfectly. Curiously, some scripts never see daylight. Entire films shot, then locked away by sudden lawsuits. Documentaries funded and abruptly cancelled under vague legal disputes. Insiders who claim to have seen raw footage say these projects went beyond metaphors. They showed real artifacts, ex-member confessions, and locations absent from any tourist map. Bootleg versions still circulate on hidden torrent networks and deep web vaults. By mixing ridicule and distraction, the Order dances with the public's apathy while fiercely guarding its secrets. Anyone flipping channels late at night stumbles on Atlantis, myth or legend, deep-sea mysteries, or lost worlds, absorbs a bit, chuckles, moves on. Yet a rare few feel a spark inside, a question that refuses to die: why spend billions repeating the same story so many ways? Next, we follow the breadcrumbs dropped inside this hall of mirrors, banned interviews, leaked raw footage, and whispers from insiders who glimpsed the chambers where scripts are vetted, symbols debated, and future fiction franchises carefully planned. The stage is vast, but the curtain is lifting. Here, fiction dies. Few journalists have dared to confront the Trident Order's fortress of secrecy. Those who did either vanished from the headlines or fled into obscurity under new identities. Yet, in the early 2000s, a handful of bootleg interviews surfaced on pirated DVDs. One stands out: the testimony of a man known only as Archivist Delta. He claimed to have spent 12 years cataloging artifacts unearthed from undocumented coastal digs across Europe and Central America. Delta described underground storage vaults hidden near decommissioned military bases. Inside, stone blocks etched with unknown scripts, small metallic statues made of unidentifiable alloys, and crystal-engraved maps sat far from any mainstream museum. Delta's job? Photograph each piece, digitize the markings, and, most chilling, oversee energetic communication sessions where high-ranking initiates claimed to speak with the relics. Another bombshell leak was an audio tape from 1987. In it, a man claiming to be a former U.S. Navy scientist described a submerged base near Bermuda where sonar picked up a ziggurat-like structure. Submarines were sent to investigate, but recovery missions were scrapped after divers reported disturbing side effects, visions of living cities, disembodied telepathic voices, and feelings of time distortion. Though no official verification exists, attempts to trace these sources hit brick walls. Servers hosting the files mysteriously crash. User accounts get suspended. Forums sharing these tapes face relentless DDoS attacks. Yet fragments survive, bouncing through encrypted P2P networks and private chat groups, feeding a dedicated underground of truth hunters. In 2010, an indie filmmaker claimed an ex-Order insider greenlit him to film real initiation rites. 2 weeks after the teaser went viral, the project was axed under threat of massive lawsuits. Close contacts swear the director fled with the raw footage, hiding it inside a vault somewhere in South America. Hoax or cover-up? Nobody knows for sure. But those who glimpsed the teaser swear it showed recognizable public figures masked among the chanting acolytes. This harsh pattern of suppression through wealth and intimidation only fuels more suspicion. Many believe, the more brutal the censorship, the bigger the secret. Some say the internet itself was designed to drown whistleblowers in a sea of fake conspiracies so the real signals remain buried under noise. Next, we'll unlock a location insiders whisper about the most: the island fortress said to host the Order's annual rituals. A place scrubbed from maps, sealed behind international non-disclosure treaties, guarded by private security with license to repel intruders. Strap in, this is the forbidden vault even Hollywood hasn't dared to show in full. Persistent rumors claim the Trident Order maintains a headquarters on a private island hidden somewhere in the North Atlantic. Officially, the site is listed on government papers as a protected marine sanctuary, untouched nature on paper. But satellite images reveal strange clues: camouflaged docks, tunnel entrances swallowed by thick jungle, and watchtowers that don't appear on any coastal defense charts. Former employees from maritime logistics firms tell unsettling stories. Cargo ships dock there, unload massive sealed containers under tight guard, then vanish without standard port inspections. Port Authority records trace these routes to a single offshore company, registered to ghost owners, headquartered at a mailbox in Liechtenstein. For those who follow the money, this is the smoking gun for clandestine shipments. Local fishermen add fuel to the mystery. Some speak of eerie green lights surfacing from the deep on clear nights. Others swear they've heard low, echoing chants drifting from hidden sea caves. At least 3 times, curious boaters were intercepted by armed guards in sleek speedboats. The warning is always the same: restricted waters. Turn back immediately or face detention. To conspiracy sleuths, every threat confirms they're guarding something big. Insiders say deep beneath the island lies a fortress carved from volcanic stone, its corridors lined with crystal veins glowing faintly in the dark. Inside, circular chambers display spiral symbols matching descriptions found in Plato's texts. Once a year, during the winter solstice, the Order's leaders gather here to renew what they call the Atlantean Covenant. Leaked photos show torchlit halls, ancient glyphs carved into walls, and a crystal throne at the heart of it all. Independent researchers who tried to get close faced silent intimidation. One Norwegian archaeologist posted images of polished stone platforms exposed at low tide, evidence he believed proved a ritual dock from pre-flood times. Within weeks, his website was shut down by court order, and he disappeared from scientific conferences, citing health issues. Luckily, digital copies of his files still circulate in dark corners of the web. Some insiders describe the fortress as a 3-dimensional portal. According to them, certain corridors resonate like giant tuning forks, amplifying chants that push initiates into altered states. During these rituals, a lost language echoes off the crystal walls, guiding visions of Atlantis' past glory, and sometimes, whispered instructions for future global moves. Next, we'll see how this fortress doubles as a training ground for new recruits, bright young scientists, artists, and even spiritual influencers groomed to plant Atlantean seeds in modern society. Brace yourself, the next revelations connect names and institutions you'd never suspect of hiding ancient allegiances. The island fortress isn't just a ritual temple. It doubles as a mind and spirit reconditioning center for hand-picked individuals deemed worthy to carry the Atlantean torch. Young prodigies are recruited discreetly from elite universities, cutting-edge art schools, and secretive neuroscience labs. The invitation appears harmless: a scholarship, a dream internship abroad, a grant to unleash your creative genius. Who would say no? Once inside, these recruits are flown to the island under the guise of creative immersion retreats. They enter digital blackout: no phones, no contact with family. Every day follows a strict routine: organic vegan meals, hours of silence, guided meditation in resonance chambers. The stated goal: retune the mind to its original frequency, dismantling mental blocks modern society installs to keep us docile and disconnected. Former trainees who broke ranks describe strange sessions deeper in the program. Collective hypnosis, astral projection exercises, herbal concoctions that unlock vivid trance states. In these visions, recruits watch symbolic reenactments of Atlantis' downfall, the exodus of its priests, and the promise of an eventual rebirth, a mission they're now sworn to complete. Anyone who resists is politely dismissed and erased from official records. Those who pass remain deeply loyal. They return to their fields, tech labs, record labels, ad agencies, carrying subtle implants, Atlantean phrases hidden in songs, symbolic runes in movie storyboards, new wellness trends with ancient roots. One pop hit about ocean kingdoms? A new self-help mantra about awakening inner resonance? These are the spores of a new myth, seeded invisibly across cultures. Some claim charismatic celebrities, new age gurus, and even billionaire startup founders have roots in this training. Insiders hint these alumni revisit the island yearly, refreshing their connection and receiving fresh instructions to shape pop culture and global trends. Publicly, it all sounds too far-fetched, yet behind closed doors, it's treated like a living blueprint. Independent investigators have matched patents to these ex-recruits, devices for neural stimulation, algorithms predicting behavior, brainwave harvesting wearables, all disguised as wellness tools. Major corporations quietly buy up these patents, then deploy the tech under slogans like better sleep or mindful productivity. The masses accept it gratefully, never guessing whose symbols hum beneath the circuit boards. Next, we expose how these trained seeds blossom at the highest levels of finance and politics, at secret meetings where blueprints crafted on the island morph into laws, policies, and treaties. You'll see why, to the Order, the world must be spiritually ready to accept Atlantis' rebirth, not as land, but as a mind-shared empire. Get ready, the scale is truly global now. While most people scoff at the Trident Order as myth, insiders know it quietly shapes the agenda at annual power gatherings in the world's financial capitals. Geneva, London, New York, Singapore, discreet backrooms beneath prestigious summits host unpublicized councils where only verified initiates may speak. Here, a select few plot the next decade's economic flows, research directions, and public narratives. Documents leaked by rogue insiders show these gatherings lock in more than trillion-dollar deals. They sign confidentiality oaths that supersede national laws, promising loyalty to the Atlantean blueprint first and foremost. This is where strategies to buy out independent media, steer university curricula, and quietly push biotech innovations take final shape, masked as philanthropic alliances for the common good. Interestingly, these sessions use cryptic names: the Marine Council, Triple Circle, Oasis Assembly. Invitations are printed on black parchment, sealed with violet wax, the Order's signature hue. Entry codes change yearly, crafted by in-house cryptographers, making infiltration nearly impossible for conventional spies or journalists. Dissenting economists have flagged suspicious market swings right after these councils wrap up. Sudden billion-dollar green energy booms, mysterious collapses of fossil fuel companies, abrupt new patents in neurotech. To the public, it's just how markets work. To conspiracy trackers, it's the Atlantean master plan moving chess pieces unseen. Besides money, the true currency here is secret knowledge. Satellite images no one else can buy, early archaeology reports, medical breakthroughs unshared with mainstream labs. Delegates exchange this data in slim leather folders, each locked with biometric latches. Between champagne toasts and coded nods, they shape a future invisible to voters and taxpayers alike. Those who betray the trust face ruin. Some whistleblowers found themselves bankrupt overnight. Others caught tabloid scandals that destroyed reputations in days. A few vanished outright, or reappeared dead in accidents the press never investigates. To insiders, this is the price of breaking an oath older than most nations. Next, you'll see how these decisions filter down to everyday life, from quirky meditation trends to corporate wellness apps. Each idea looks harmless, but all serve to rewire minds for a collective dream called New Atlantis. This is psychological terraforming, done softly but thoroughly. To the Trident Order, controlling money is only half the game. Real power comes from shaping the collective mind, slowly, invisibly. That's why movements that look grassroots, holistic therapies, quantum healing, mindfulness for productivity, exploded worldwide. On the surface, they promise stress relief. Underneath, they recycle ancient Atlantean mental rituals, tuning brainwaves, priming the subconscious, syncing human frequency to hidden energy grids. High-performance coaches, mindfulness gurus, and social media influencers echo the same phrases: erase the ego, connect to the source, align your energy field. These catchy lines descend directly from chants and mantras once whispered in secret rituals. The stressed modern public, craving balance, absorbs them without question. Meanwhile, the soil of collective belief is fertilized to accept the Atlantis myth as inner truth. Entertainment amplifies the spell. Blockbuster heroes meditate to unlock telepathic powers. Streaming hits portray cults suspiciously similar to the Trident Order but exaggerated to cartoon levels, so viewers laugh off the real thing. Deep inside production studios, anonymous consultants ensure these symbols appear just enough to seed the subconscious, but never enough to spark mass suspicion. Corporate wellness has become another Trojan horse. Global companies pour millions into mental health 2.0 programs, guided meditation apps, binaural beats soundscapes, silence pods designed with sacred geometry hidden in the architecture. Independent researchers who study these tools find suspicious overlaps, patents linked back to startups owned by shell foundations connected to the Order. Employees think they're relaxing, but some are unconsciously conditioning their minds for collective resonance. Education hasn't escaped this infiltration either. Alternative schools, backed by megadonors, slip in quantum learning, planetary consciousness, and spiritual ecology. Children learn symbols and ideas rooted in the Atlantean worldview without ever hearing the word Atlantis in official textbooks. Generations grow up instinctively accepting planetary energy grids and spiritual unity, the very framework needed for the Order's final act. Critics trying to blow the whistle face subtle yet crushing pushback. Social profiles shadow banned, videos demonetized, speaking tours cancelled last minute. Labeled charlatans or conspiracy nuts, they watch helplessly as the mainstream narrative steamrolls on. Meanwhile, every viral meme about cosmic vibes or collective awakening becomes another invisible brick in an unseen temple. Next, you'll learn about what insiders call the final phase, the engineered global event meant to unveil the new Atlantis, not as myth, but as a solution for a world on the brink. A spectacle of disaster, revelation, and salvation, masterfully staged to seduce every mind desperate for hope. Buckle up, the climax is near. Deep within the Order's highest chamber, they whisper a name for the plan's endgame, the Atlantean awakening. To outsiders, it sounds poetic. In truth, leaked outlines show it's a meticulously timed sequence combining advanced tech, media manipulation, climate accidents, and a revelation so dazzling the masses will beg for a new world order. The first step, fear. Experts note how pandemics, energy crises, and rolling financial meltdowns test how billions react to sustained uncertainty. Each wave of chaos breeds disillusionment with traditional governments. Into this vacuum, order-backed thought leaders emerge, charismatic visionaries, spiritual celebrities, think tank prophets, all gently suggesting humanity must return to its ancient blueprint. Step 2, Proof. At just the right time, friendly archaeologists discover ruins and artifacts that miraculously confirm Atlantis was real, and far more advanced than today's civilization. High-production documentaries, pre-edited news segments, and expert panels burst across mainstream channels in a blitz. Exhausted people see undeniable evidence and cling to it as an anchor in a collapsing reality. Step 3, Salvation. After the panic and the proof comes the pitch, a global governance inspired by Atlantean principles, clean energy, telepathic conflict resolution, equal resource distribution. Wrapped in the language of innovation, sustainability, and planetary unity, it will look like paradise. Insiders know it's more, an invisible surveillance grid for minds and hearts. The showpiece is VR and brain interface tech. When the big reveal drops, billions will explore new Atlantis in hyper-realistic virtual temples and underwater palaces. AI-guided visions will simulate communion with Atlantean elders. The experience will be so vivid, so comforting, that few will question the price, total mental submission in exchange for a utopia on demand. Defectors say the Order has already chosen the astrological window. Their internal astrologers interpret the stars just as ancient priests did before the flood. When the sky aligns, engineered quakes, tidal shifts, and miraculous revelations will sync perfectly, triggering a worldwide psychological tipping point. Atlantis will not rise from the sea, it will rise in the collective mind, ready to rule. Next comes the final truth. If all this is true, and every shred of evidence points that way, what can we do? Is resistance futile? Or is there still a way to break the spell before it hardens into a new world empire? The last block doesn't just conclude the story, it plants seeds in your mind that no power can erase. And now, every puzzle piece snaps into place. From hidden ruins to mind control wellness apps, from elite summits to stolen artifacts, it all connects back to the same ancient idea: Atlantis never sank. It simply went underground. Now, its spiritual heirs prepare to surface it again, as a mental network, a cultural religion, a psychological empire with no borders to invade, because it lives in you. So, what do we do with this knowledge? True believers say you can't fight the Order with pitchforks. Their real fortress is disbelief. As long as the public laughs, the plan works flawlessly, but once enough people question the laugh lines, track the money, decode the symbols, cracks appear in the best crafted illusion. That's how every empire falls, not by force, but by doubt turned contagious. That's why this video is more than entertainment. Every share, every comment, every conversation you spark, that's a fracture in the Atlantean echo chamber. Don't expect superheroes. Don't worship whistleblowers. You are the firewall. Your mind is the last unclaimed territory the Order cannot dominate without your permission. They say truth sets you free, but what if the truth is so enormous it shatters comfort and leaves you naked before a far darker world? Many will choose sleep over awakening. The Order bets on this. Breaking that bet is the only trident sharp enough to wound them where they fear most, in the collective subconscious. So when the next global miracle appears on your newsfeed, earthquakes unmasking temples, holographic prophecies, a slick new guru preaching planetary harmony, remember this video. Ask, who built the stage? Who wrote the script? Who profits when you kneel and thank them for saving you from chaos they quietly engineered? As the winds whip over the waves still hiding old Atlantis, its modern shadow grows stronger behind screens and headlines. But if you watched this far, you hold a seed they cannot burn. Guard it. Feed it. Question everything. Because in the end, New Atlantis needs believers. Without them, even the grandest myth drowns in time's tide. If you dare, share this. If you doubt, investigate. And if I disappear tomorrow, remember, the truth was the only trident that could pierce the abyss. Until our next dive.